how much of this is because this time we're starting at zero. And we're going back to, 8 or whatever.
That's a legitimate question. We don't have, for example, we didn't have in other times in the history of. I mean, look at the history, for example, of Treasury bills, what they were paying and what they're paying now. Look at the average. Go before 2008. Look what the average is, and you're going to be going, oh wow. So that means the prime rate, the Fed rate, had to be a lot higher at that point, right? For Treasury bills to be at that point, or my entire life growing up before 2008, you could always make 4 or 5% on a pass book of it.
Yeah, right.
Just
exactly.
if you put any money in the bank and you were making, all right, I'll say between 3 and 5%.
Yeah, right.
And I remember before I bought my house, just to be able to transfer money, I got an online account, and I think you had to put over $10,000 in it. And I was getting 6% interest.
Yeah,
Just a sort of a reverse line of credit. It's an online account that you can take money out, put it back in, but as long as you kept 10,000 in, you were making 6%. And that was, I built my house in, let me see, that was 2006. I moved into my house on January 12th, 2007. So it was 2006 where I opened up that account. Haven't been able to touch that at all. So it gets down to the point you're bringing up. We started from zero. We didn't start from 5% or 6% and then go up. And the shock to the markets is also that huge concern about, because we kept rates artificially low, because we manipulated the dollar, and that's what you do when you keep interest rates so artificially low, in order to help you, the Fed, print money to buy your own debt, and therefore debt isn't going to be that expensive on the budget, because interest rates are so low. But now that's gone. That's a worry that's out there. But yeah, I think that's a great point. What is the shock to the market because we started at zero?
And that's it. I mean, if you look at the history of the Fed funds rate, where, again, there is a massive difference when you go from near zero to, what he believes is, needs to be 5.5. All right. You got to go, if that's a huge jump. And I don't know what the average over the years, interest rates in the U.S. average, and this really doesn't help us much, average 5.43% from 71 until 2022. Well, again, that doesn't help us much. I mean, we're talking about going from whatever the rate is currently when again, the inflation spikes, and trying to get on top of that by getting, above.
I've got the chart here. You haven't seen anything close to what's gone on between 2010 and 2022. Looking at the chart, I'm looking at some of the peaks here. You look at 1959, 4% was the Fed fund rate. You go to, and I'm hitting some of the highs here, some of the peaks of 1966, 5.5%. The Fed fund rate in 1969, 10.5%.
Yeah.
The Fed fund rate in 1974 was 11.31%. And remember, and then it crashed. Then it crashed all the way down. 1977, back down to 5%. Now, when you think about it, we still had inflation at that point,
right?
And then, because we weren't curing the inflation, by the time we got to June 1st, 1981, the Fed fund rate was 19.99%.
Yeah.
But then you see it coming down, but still, you go to 80. Remember when we saw economic booms in the United States? By the time you got to 84, we were booming. The Fed fund rate was, let me get it here, 11.64%.
Right.
By the time you got to 1989, when the economy was still booming, 9.87%. And then you see it coming down as we got into the 1990s, and then by the time we get to 2000 is when you see it coming down. It went up briefly in 2007 to 5.2%, and then after that, it just crashed where we're talking 0.15%. I mean, artificially low, went back up in 2018 to 2.4%, and now we're back up to, where are we now? The average, the 3.08%. So if you look at it, we're not near the average of what the Fed fund rate has been.
Exactly.
Over the last 60 years in this country.
So when you're starting at zero, you know, I mean, you're going back to the gym doing 2-a-days after not being in the gym for 10 years. Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark.
It hurts.
It does hurt.
866-90 Red Eye.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio. Join the conversation using the Shell Rotella hotline. 866-907-3339. Red Eye Radio at Shell Rotella. What matters is inside.
My mom is a breast cancer survivor. The United Breast Cancer Foundation saved her life. Their free breast cancer exam caught the cancer early, and that saved her life. But now the foundation needs your help, so they can continue offering free or low-cost breast screening exams, saving more women's lives. Help them by donating your car, whether it's running or not. They'll provide fast, free 24-hour pickup, and you receive a charitable tax deduction. Plus the great feeling you'll get knowing your donated car is going to help save more lives. Just call 800-814-0756.